Hi there, this is Ashley Kinsell, the head of Year 7, here to discuss the key information needed for Bewerley Park. A reminder of key dates that you will need to know. So our first week is going on the first week back, which is the 3rd to the 5th of November, and that will be HV, GR, MR and ASU. Then the second week will be the 10th to the 12th of November, and that will be SMF, BL and ANN. And then the third week going will be the 17th to the 19th, and that will be CY, MLN, HF and MPE. This is one of our big parts of transition. It's really a fantastic opportunity for students to make more friends and to get involved, and we mix up the groups a little bit on purpose to support students in making new friends. It's a big part of our joining in. Bewerley Park is a North Yorkshire Centre outdoor learning service, and it's a really well esteemed institution and works fantastically well, and we've been going every year for that exact reason. As you can see, it's set in the Nidderdale Hills. It's a gorgeous atmosphere, really out there in its own, and it's a fantastic place for students to go and just experience some outdoors. So how the days are going to work. So day one, we'll be leaving Arches at about 9 a.m. and we'll be getting there for about 11 o'clock. If students know that they maybe suffer with travel sickness or things like that, I recommend that's something that you look into in the morning before they get here. Make sure they've had travel sickness tablets and things like that. I also really recommend ginger biscuits. They're fantastic for sickness. Please arrive to school about 8:20. Ideally before 8:35, so that you can drop off children with their bags and everything, come straight to the main hall and then leave, just so there's no congestion on the drive, because otherwise it's going to be really difficult for people getting in and out and the school buses arriving and things like that. So the first thing we do when we get to Bewerley Park is they'll go unpack their stuff, choose their beds, and then there will be their lunch provided, and then they'll have their first activity at about 2 o'clock. Then they'll come back, have their evening meal, and there'll be some evening activities. There's all sorts of different things on each night. Then they have nice hot chocolate and bedtime and lights out for 10 o'clock. The day two has more activities. So 8 a.m. breakfast, so up nice and early, and then it's full days of activities, and this can be weather dependent. So either there could be a full day activity, or if the weather's not great, what we'll more likely do is go have an activity, come back, get changed, have a warm through, have some nice warm lunch, and then go and do a different activity. So that can change depending on the weather, really, on that one. Then 4:30 till 5 o'clock will be like personal time. They can go back to their rooms, have a wash, get changed, put something on, some nice warm clothes again. Then evening meal, and again they'll do the opposite of what they did the previous night in evening activities. In the evening activities, there's also like a common room where there's a pool table. They've got the opportunity to like buy some sweets, and there's like hats and scarves and some Bewerley Park type merchandise that they can purchase. And again, hot chocolate for 9, bed at 9:45, and lights out at 10. And then our final day, up again for breakfast at 8. Then we'll have our activity again. Then it'll be lunch at 12, and then they'll go back to the rooms, get packed up, get sorted, and we should be leaving at about 1 o'clock. And we'll aim to be back here for about 2:45, again to ease congestion on the drive, and students will be free to leave immediately. What I would recommend is most people are collected from the main road rather than in school. That might be easier because there's no cars down the drive from 3:10 till 3:30. So it might be easier if you arrange to meet with students either on the main road or at the shops or just around that area at the front of school rather than up the drive. But obviously that's going to depend on you as a family, or if they're getting the school bus, they can just wait and get on the school bus as they normally would. Some other key things to know. So dormitories are shared. All students will be with people that they know, so there's nothing to worry about there. If anyone got any particular serious concerns, please do highlight that to us. But otherwise, they are in shared dormitories, as you can see here. And what's a great tip here is actually they're responsible for cleaning them themselves as well. They will hoover them, they will clean them, they will change their own bedding. It's their responsibility to keep their common area really nice. Then again, we eat together as well, so you can see in the hall, this is a communal dining area where students will eat together in their groups and again get to know each other and make more friends. In here again, it's everyone's responsibility. They put out their own cutlery, they take in their cutlery, they set up the dining hall, they set up everything themselves. It's a really kind of independent, self-sufficient setup. It's a really good opportunity for students to gain their independence like that. It's a really motivational learning experience to do all sorts of things. Not everyone will do all of these activities, and again, this is why we really want the medical forms back in, so we can ascertain what activities aren't acceptable for some students or what they won't be able to manage. We do need to know that. So some of the different things we can do is rock climbing, go through Brimham Rocks, and we're like scrambling the rocks, climbing through them, climbing over them, canoeing and kayaking. Then there's kayaking on specifically. There's the high ropes and the low ropes. There's the zip wire. There's sailing. There's board walking. Depending on the weather, who knows what starts to happen towards the end of November. Sorry. There's cross country skiing, snow, caving, mountain biking. Really important on mountain biking. If your child cannot ride a bike, we must know that. It's very, very important. Okay, so things that are essential to bring is everything on here. So you should have all received the kit list, but generally the main thing here is just warm clothes. That is the key thing you need to know with this, is warm clothes. So I've put 6 pairs of thick socks. I would just honestly say as many pairs of socks as possible. Double them up, triple them up, keep your feet warm. I would just recommend as many pairs of socks as possible, and then if they get wet, you can change them really, really easily and keep nice and warm. And then same like your normal socks as well. Don't bother bring trainer socks or anything like that. They're not going to be any good to you. Bring nice warm socks that cover all the way up your ankles. Then 3 to 4 long sleeve warm like jumpers or fleeces or hoodies. 3 to 4 long sleeve warm tops, so just like cotton tops. But I recommend the more you've got, bring them and just layer up, keep nice and warm. And then warm trousers again, so things like, again, that you can layer up, so leggings, tight trousers, going under joggers or trackies. A warm hat, ideally 2 in case one gets wet. I've put here no bubbles on the hat. That's not like a really harsh rule, but a lot of the activities you need to wear a hard hat, and a lot of them you will want your hat on underneath as well, because it will be quite chilly. And if you've got a bubble on your hat, it can be really uncomfortable. Your hat doesn't fit your hard hat won't fit very well. Then gloves, again, ideally more than 1 pair, so if they get wet you can change them and stay nice and warm. Whatever swimming costume you would normally wear, I'd probably just bring what you normally bring for your swimming lessons at school. We recommend 2 pairs of trainers. So you've got 1 pair for when it's like evening and you can wear something comfortable, and 1 pair for like that you're like, oh, I don't mind these getting wet or getting mucky or whatever. Several changes of underwear, because again, if you're jumping in rivers and you're getting soaking, you're going to want some nice fresh warm pants. Then pyjamas, obviously you're going to need some nice warm pyjamas. Bearing in mind as well, hopefully not that we anticipate anything like this, but if there were to be a fire alarm or something like that, you're going to want to make sure you've got something on that's nice and appropriate, nice and warm if you need to go outside in the night. Again, I've put extra socks because I promise you that is my biggest tip, as many socks as possible. 2 good sized towels, because again, it's likely that one's going to get wet, so you want to keep 2 so you can keep drying them. I've put some plasters that would be recommended. Toiletries, obviously your standard toiletries like shampoo, conditioner, shower gel, a water bottle, warm clothes for the evenings and for travelling, so you've got something comfortable. And I've put to bring a pen, because it probably will be quite useful to have a pen with you. And then this is recommended packing. You don't have to have these things. So wellies, if you've got wellies, bring them, but if you don't worry, they provide them. Any specialist equipment like wellies, wetsuits, overalls, all that is provided for you. So don't panic about those things. It's just if you've got them, they're useful to have. Then travel sickness tablets. If you do bring travel sickness tablets, they must be handed in to staff as medicine. A torch and spare battery is probably quite useful. A small day sack, so if you want to carry around things with you in the day, like if you had a little bag that you just kind of kept spare gloves, spare hat, things like that in, are probably quite useful. Writing materials, again, pens, paper, books, playing cards. You might want to do something in the room and you can chill out a little bit. Lip balm, because it's quite chilly, you might get chapped lips. A bin liner is often quite useful if you've got wet things in your bag, so you can save everything else from getting wet. Pocket money, we'll talk a little bit about that in the morning. I've put CDs, but I don't imagine you will know what they are anymore. And flip-flops for the shower will be quite useful as well. So, as I've said, all specialist outdoor equipment is provided. So wet-proofs, your waterproofs, your wetsuits, helmets, wellies, everything like that is provided. Then you must make sure that your name is on everything, but especially any medicines such as inhalers. So you must make sure that you've got inhalers with you, because your leader of your group must have that with them. They will go everywhere with your inhalers. They'll have a bag that they'll put everyone's inhalers in with their name on them, so that they know whose is whose and they can get them to hand really quickly if needed. And then remember, you're going to be in a dormitory with many different people. The centre doesn't accept responsibility for any valuables. We don't have a safe or anything like that. So what I would recommend is just don't bring anything that you would be very, very upset if it was to get lost or to not be where you thought it was. Then spending money, it's not essential at all. However, there is a tuck shop and there's sweets and, like I said, there's hats and scarves and things like that that you might want to buy. I would recommend not bringing any more than £5 because, again, if it gets lost, we don't want anyone getting upset, or we don't want people buying loads and loads and loads. And it's better if you were to bring it in change rather than a £5 note. And then if you do buy anything, everything is to be eaten in the common room. You can't eat anything in the dormitory. Then, the tricky one, there are no mobile phones. Please do not bring them. If you need to contact your children, we will give you an emergency number that you can ring us and we can get in touch with them. Or equally, if they have an emergency, they can talk to us and we will get in touch with you, or they can ring you off of our phone. It's really important that this is an experience to just kind of enjoy your friends, enjoy the surroundings, take it in. So please do not bring any phones or any electronic devices. Then, medications. This is really important. Any medication must come in a clear bag with your child's name on it, and it must have specific instructions as to how and when the medicine should be given. So it should say, for example, Joe Bloggs takes 2 in the morning before 10 a.m, takes 1 in the evening after 7 p.m, must take it with a full glass of water, or something to that extent. A label with very, very clear name and instruction on it, please. Then the group leader will look after this and ensure it's given at the appropriate times. Please can you ensure, this is very important, your child has an inhaler and a spare, and both are labelled. This is very, very genuine. If they do not have them with them, they will not be allowed to take part in activities. And that includes if you have an inhaler but they don't take it very often, please bring them anyway. If your child has any form of a need for an inhaler, we must have it with us. And then behaviour. So Year 7 have had an absolutely outstanding start to their trip, and to their time here at Archers. They've been absolutely wonderful, and we know they have excellent manners, we know they have excellent behaviour, and just to make it very, very clear, the school rules are exactly the same at Bewerley Park, exactly the same. So hands off, no inappropriate language, and if they're not adhering to these policies, they will either be sanctioned by the school policy when they get back to school, or if there's an extreme behaviour, they may need to go home. This is very, very important because we don't want this to happen to anyone, especially as I know they've had such a fantastic start. Then, if you would like to pause on here, this is the mobile number that I will have with me. So if you want to get in touch with us, you can either just call school straight away on our usual number 01904 411 341. The mobile that I will have with me is 0757 642 6001. And then Bewerley Park also have an emergency line, which is 01423 711 287. If you want to just pause here and pop those numbers into your phone. So there are still a couple of outstanding medical forms. So if you could please make sure that you have handed these in, or if you think you have handed it in to your child, just please make sure. And then if not, we'll be getting in touch with you over the next couple of days if we don't have one. We need to send these to Bewerley Park so we can look at what activities are appropriate for each child. So it's really important that we get these back, please. Also on the website alongside this video will be an opportunity to fill in a Google form. On that Google form, please include anything that you think we need to know, or any questions you have, or any particular concerns or queries. Please fill that in, and then it means that we can get back to everyone. And then if there's anything that you would like to discuss in person, Miss Kinsell and the rest of the Year 7 team will be available at Parents' Evening on Wednesday. So please do get in touch if you've got any concerns or worries, and we'll be more than happy to help you. Thank you very much.